Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Black Girls Bonding. It's your host, Kianti, and I am so excited to be in community with you today. And y'all know I like to start every episode with how I'm feeling. And I have to say, I'm going to get into the topic in a minute, but this topic, I don't know, it just makes me feel so excited, so grounded, so affirmed by myself. So that's kind of the energy I'm bringing into the space today. I'm feeling really good, really optimistic, super hopeful, and for no reason, right? Like I usually attribute my feelings to the weather or something that's happened in my life, but in this instance, I'm just happy for happy sake. So I'll take it, right? Like what better way to be? All right. So let's get into it, y'all. A couple of weeks ago, I attended an event. And on the outside, it was like any other networking event in Atlanta. The space was filled with powerful Black people, mostly women, that were building great things, building their businesses, growing their careers, expanding their horizons in some way, right? The wine was flowing, the conversation was popping. And suddenly, seemingly out of nowhere, I just felt a shift. And again, I just want to reiterate like nothing had changed. This was like, you know, any other networking event that I had gone to. But some feeling came over me. And the best way that I can describe that, it was a feeling of possibility. It was really palpable. And I sat with it. And I remember in that moment just being grateful for having that feeling. And I don't know if you've ever experienced that when like just an overwhelming feeling just comes over you, particularly if it's positive, and you just have the sense, right? Like in that moment that you are to be grateful for it, right? So I was like incredibly grateful in that moment, just feeling possibility. I was almost floating, right? And so I remember walking away from that, coming home, and y'all know I do my morning pages every morning. So I remember I was like, I just have to capture this moment. So I literally went and wrote down everything that I could about that event, that day, the feeling that I felt, all of that good stuff, right? Because I just knew I had to capture it. So fast forward a couple of days later, I went to another event, similar demographics to the last one, but I was something felt like a little bit different to me. And I was able to like kind of take the time back or take that time in that moment and observe what I was feeling. And I realized um there was some like I was feeling shrinking, right? Like I felt myself shrinking. I felt really small and I didn't judge it, right? Like I didn't want to judge it in that moment, but it was just an observation that I had. And I didn't understand why I was doing that. For some reason in that moment, I was like really like, I don't know, like diminishing myself, diminishing my accomplishments, like kind of disregarding things I had done. And again, like I said, it was all happening in real time. And it was such a stark difference from what I had experienced earlier in the week to what I was experiencing in the moment. And I realized that I don't, just something was going on with me. And I was able to take ownership for that. And I'm not always able to do that. Usually when I feel that feeling, I'm like, oh, these aren't my people. Oh, that event wasn't that great. Oh, the topics weren't relevant to me. But in this moment, I really had to take some accountability because I realized it was me. I was doing it to myself. And it was also in this moment that I realized this was all my programming, right? And it's all by design. So just follow me for a minute. I'm gonna get a little bit deep. Okay. So the system, whatever you think the system is, capitalism, patriarchy, whatever, wants women, in particular Black women, to be small so that they sit down, shut up, and take what's given to them, right? Sit down, shut up, get your work done. That's what we're told to do, essentially, right? And my entire career, I've worked in corporate and, sort of big nonprofit organizations. And so I've been told in so many words, right? Sometimes more blatant than others, to just be humble and to be grateful that I have a seat at the table. And that lesson or that message was really strong as I got, higher up in my career and got into more management spaces, right? It's like, you should be grateful that you're here. You should be grateful that you technically have a voice. Technically and actually are two totally different things. Um, and I hate to say it, but I took the bait, right? Because when you're told a certain thing over and over again, you internalize it, right? Like unless you're aware of it and have like tools and resources at the ready so that you can deflect, if you don't know what's happening to you, you will do exactly that. You will internalize it. And so I did. I took the bait. Um, and I was compliant. And it hurts to say that, but it's just the truth. And again, I'm not being too hard on myself because, again, I know it was all by design, but I'm just saying what I'm saying. And so, what did that look like? That looked like being talked over in meetings. It meant other colleagues were taking credit for my work. Or my absolute favorite is me saying something in a meeting and being ignored, right? Like not acknowledged that I said the thing. And then 2 minutes later, somebody else, usually a white man, says the exact same thing and he's applauded for it, right? This happens over and over again. So you can imagine at some point in time, first of all, you start to think you're crazy. Particularly in those meetings when you say something and somebody else says it and they get all the applause for it. It's like, I did not just like you question if you said it. Like you're almost gaslighting yourself. Like, did that help? Maybe that didn't happen because no one responded when I said it. But when he said it was the most brilliant thing. It's a mind fuck. I don't know how else to say it. And if that happens over and over again, you start to believe that what you have to say is not that important, right? And so now that I'm an entrepreneur and those characteristics that I have developed are not serving me at all, I knew something had to change, right? But I also felt incredibly lost. And I couldn't name what it was, but I just felt myself constantly retreating, constantly sort of diminishing myself. And something really happened to me. I don't even know what this was. When I would see like younger women talk so confidently about their accomplishments, their experience, what they were building. And I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I'm listening to these young girls talking. I'm like, what are you even saying? You don't even know what you're talking about. Like the hater in me was real loud and strong, right? Again, I can see this all now in the moment. I thought I was right. Because what do these young girls have to say, right? But in reflecting, again, I see it was me reacting to the program. All right. So, talking shit about them in my head. And what I'm really doing, again, I'm being real raw and real transparent with y'all today. But what I'm really doing is I'm doing a little comparison. I'm doing a little leveling here to figure out where I, kind of stand up next to them. And when I really got honest with myself, I realized what I was doing. It was all envy. I was envious. And so one thing I know about envy is that it doesn't have to be bad. I think it has a bad rap, right? Like if somebody says you're envious, you're looked at as like, ew, why are you envious? Why are you jealous? You shouldn't be feeling those things. You should be happy for other people. Yes, all of those things are true. And I think envy is an indicator of something bigger. Usually when I envy somebody for something, it's because I want not their life, but something that they're doing, I crave myself. So what I started doing when I realized that, what I started doing was figuring out, okay, what is the thing that I want then, right? Like I would see so many people doing these big, magnificent things, from the outside looking in, and I would feel envy come up. And then I started looking like, oh, you just want to go on a vacation. Okay, we'll plan a vacation, right? But once you have that information, you can move forward. You don't have to sit in envy. So that's just a little tip for y'all out there who are curious. So that's what I started doing. I started digging deeper to figure out what was it about these young women that was making me so envious. And I realized it was that level of confidence. I wanted that level of confidence. I wanted to be able to talk my shit, live in my power, all that stuff, right? So what's stopping me? That's right. It's me. It's me. Because the fact is, I have the receipts, I have the accomplishments, I have the thing, right? Like I am building something great too. The only thing that's holding me back is that I'm not talking about it. And the reason I'm not talking about it is because I think somebody wants to judge me and nobody's thinking about me. I can talk my shit. And so that's what I'm starting to do, right? And it was really important, I think, that I felt both of those experiences that week, right? Where I had the week start with possibility and end with me shrinking because it gave me an opportunity to compare the two and figure out what was off. What was the gap? What was throwing me off, right? And then I realized, I am the one. I was the one that was throwing me off. And there was an opportunity for me to dig a little deeper and figure out what I could do. So what am I doing now? I'm spending my time reminding myself of who I am. I'm pulling up receipts. And I don't care how weird it makes me feel, because I'll be honest, it does make me feel weird, right? When you go through your entire life and think about your experiences and your accomplishments, it does feel a little bit like, oh my God, like, am I conceited? Am I being stuck up? But you're not. You're reminding yourself of who you are. And then I remind myself that I've done some really hard things with my back against the wall. And, I just kind of talk myself up. And you'll recall from an episode I did a little while back, I have an incredible tribe. And one of those tribe members is a hype woman. And so I use that hype woman incredibly strategically for two reasons. Number one, it is not her job to build me up every time I fall down. Like, that's not fair to her. She got shit going on, right? She has a whole life. So strategic is incredibly important for that reason, because I want to spare her time, obviously. But it's also more important to me because at the end of the day, right? Like, while the hype woman is amazing and it's so incredible that I have her in my life, it's also my job to hype me up because I'm the constant, right? I have to be able to remind myself of who I am, what I'm capable of, and what I'm going to do. Everything else is complimentary. May not want to hear that. Doesn't sound that great, but it's the truth. Like, at the end of the day, it boils down to us, right? So, I recently started doing this thing that my sister encouraged me to do last year, which is counting my wins real time, right? So my goal now is at the top of every month, I look back on the last month and I look at my wins, right? I just literally write them down. I have like a little tracker and everything because y'all know me, I got to track my shit. And this is important because sometimes our brain will try to lie to us, especially when we're in really hard seasons, and tell us that we're not doing enough. We're not making any progress. No one cares. This thing's never going to happen. That's what your brain will tell you. And so it's our job to combat that. And the way that we combat that is honestly by writing it down and reflecting on what it is that we've done. And these wins can be something as small and mundane as, you woke up one morning and you didn't feel like getting up, but you took a shower, right? And we know that some weeks that's a win. And the wins can be as big as, oh my God, I had a client meeting, it went well, and they signed the contract. It could be anything and everything in between. But I do think it's important that we get really honest with ourselves and that we start to kind of pat ourselves on the back, because that over time is what's going to build the confidence. Confidence is just reminding ourselves that we can do the thing. And you build confidence by the action, right? Like, we think that we can build confidence by affirming ourselves, telling ourselves how fabulous we are. All those things are super important. I believe in that. But the real confidence comes from the doing. We got to get out there and we have to do the thing, and then write it down so we remember. Okay. So as I was saying, I got my swagger back, y'all, and I don't intend to lose it again. And the way that I'm not going to lose it, like I said, is just write down the things, continue to do the things, continue to, rise above and do the hard things that I know that I'm capable of doing, and not necessarily being so attached to the outcome right away, because we know with most things, it's a long game, right? You didn't build, for those that have maybe run a marathon, you didn't wake up one day and say, I'm going to run a marathon. You trained for months, and some runs were really good and some runs were very shitty. But at the end of the day, you completed the marathon, right? And it's the same thing in life. Some days we're going to wake up and we're going to feel so vibrant and ready to kick ass on that day. And some days getting out of bed will be the win. But it doesn't matter. As long as we keep going, we're going to get the outcome that we desire. I believe that 100%. And I also feel like I sound like a pastor a little bit right now, but that's okay. All right. So here's the challenge for the week, right? What have been your wins? I want you to name 3 things that over the last month that you're very proud of yourself for. 3. And if I don't care if it takes you 10 minutes or 10 seconds, sit down and do it, and keep a running list of those things so you can remind yourself of who you are, right? Okay. So if you like this, please subscribe, whether you're watching me on YouTube or listening to me on your favorite podcast platform. I really, really just want y'all to kind of tap in and let me know. Let me know how you're progressing on your goals. You can hit me with a DM on Instagram at blackgirlsbonding. You can send me an email at blackgirlsbonding@gmail.com. Or again, if you're watching on YouTube, you can just comment below. All right, y'all, I like to end with a little pop culture, but it has to be quick today because I haven't been as tapped in as I want to. What I will say is that I'm very excited for Big Brother. Do y'all watch Big Brother? Please tell me you watch Big Brother. Okay. The new season just started. And I don't have any assessments yet because, again, it's still so early. And I'm sorry, but nothing's ever going to compare to the cookout. So we know we got that. But I'm super excited. And I will be coming back with updates. So I think this summer is going to be in the pop culture section is going to be a mix of Love Island and Big Brother. Kind of two ends of the spectrum, but not really because they're both reality. Anyway, let me know what y'all are thinking so far. Thank you again for tuning in, and I am excited to see y'all soon. Bye.